Welcome back. We have Andrew Snook joining us on the show. He's making his way through Kamloops right now as a part of a book signing tour, and he has published this book. His book is called Remy's Dilemma, and we're going to learn a whole lot more about what it is all about right now from Andrew. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. 12 days you're on the road right now, you said?
Yeah, it's mostly for work, but also for doing a few book signings as well.
Good. This is your first book, is that right?
Yes.
And it's going to be the first of a series of books.
Yeah, Remy's going to end up going all across Canada. In the first book, he ends up in Ontario and Quebec. The second book across Western Canada, and the third book across Atlantic Canada.
Okay, so nobody knows who Remy is, so I should ask you that. Who is Remy, and what are these books going to be about? What is this one about?
They're all designed to make you laugh. It follows Remy, who has a premonition of the world coming to an end, so he decides to go on a quest to answer man's greatest question, and he ends up on sort of a ridiculous road trip through Ontario and Quebec, where he causes total chaos everywhere he goes. And he ends up attracting the attention of a criminal profiler with the Toronto police, who profile him as a serial killer, even though he's not. And it ends up generating a huge manhunt for him that Remy is totally oblivious to the whole time he's on his quest. And you don't get to find out what that question is until the end when he finds the answer.
Where did you come up with this idea?
It started off as, funny enough, as a dream I had while in university. I hadn't written fiction since I was a kid. And I woke up from this kind of oddball dream that ended up being one of the chapters in the book. I just woke up and thought, oh, this would be fun to write about, just out of the blue. I ended up spending 12 hours on the keyboard just banging away. And all of a sudden, I thought I just wanted to keep writing about him. So I wrote all these fun little adventures, and eventually it ended up in the form of a novella called Wasted Days that I had released years ago. But I'd released it when I didn't know a lot about writing. I just wanted to write, because I'm a professional writer and editor by trade now. But I just decided I was going to do it and printed it, and then left it alone for years. I went back to school for journalism in 2010 and found it in a box of old junk, and kind of dusted it off and opened it up and said, oh, this is horrible. But I really like the premise of it. So I spent 3.5 years in Ottawa and then in Toronto rewriting it. And that's how Remy's Dilemma ended up forming.
Good for you.
It's a real labor of love.
You are fiercely Canadian, as your t-shirt might suggest. I also read that about you online. Tell me about that. Your travels have taken you to every province you mentioned, besides on Manitoba.
Yeah, I'm working on that one.
Good for you. So what would you say to somebody like me who hasn't seen all the provinces? You got to get out there and see them. Oh my God,
there's just so much to see. It's so beautiful. I mean, I lived in Nova Scotia, and I had a lot of opportunity to explore Atlantic Canada then. My job now as an editor for Canadian Forest Industries magazine, Canadian Biomass and Rock to Road, allows me to travel across Canada, but especially with the forestry and bioenergy books, I spend quite a bit of time in British Columbia and Alberta, and it's just given me so much opportunity to go so many places I never would have thought I'd be able to go. So, I mean, I've probably been to BC 2 months the last 2 years.
That's amazing.
And it's awesome. I love it. Yeah.
So you have the serious editor job by day, and then in your off time, you're creating these great fictional masterpieces, which sounds like is where you get to release your sense of humor and make it fun and interesting and write fictional stories. Yeah,
it's right. They're all business-to-business magazines, so it's
serious.
It is. It's very serious. There's a lot of technical writing. It's a lot of fun too. But fiction's my passion. I mean, if I could have any job in the world, I'd write books all day.
Well, maybe we'll come to that, right, as you go along here. We're almost out of time, but I want to let our viewers know that you're going to be at Chapters September 25th, which is Saturday? Sunday it is. Yes. Sorry, I apologize. This Sunday at Chapters, all day starting at 10 o'clock. And people can come and pick up a book, get it signed, Remy's Dilemma. Again, this is the first in a series of books that Andrew Snook is going to be penning. Lovely to have you here, and I wish you well on your tours and your adventures through Canada.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Very welcome. Again, you can also visit online, snookbooks.com.